Hello everyone. I am Rebecca from ChemKnits and I'm here tonight to talk about a few things. I'm going to chat a little bit about the ChemKnitsCreations new shop update with a lot of yarn. You can see some of it that way. I'm going to be chatting about some of the new sponsorship slots that are available for the first time since my Kickstarter, which was, I offered these back last September. So this is the first time I've offered sponsorship slots again. I'm going to chat a little bit about my business model, and then I'm happy to take questions. I can go through some of the techniques that we dyed with some of these yarns. Some of the yarn that was in the shop update is stuff that you've seen before. Some of it are yarns that are coming up in new dyeing videos. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun. But first, I'm going to wait for some of you guys to join. I feel like it's been a little while since I've just had a chat. But anyway, what is, okay. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I like that YouTube says the internet can totally see you now. But anyway, as many as you know, recently I launched the ChemKnitsCreations Etsy store. And this is a shop where I will sell the yarns that I dye in my videos. So not only is it some really fun, pretty hand-dyed yarn, but you're also getting yarn and you can watch that yarn be created, because in each listing I have the video title. So that way you can either go back and watch the video, or you can wait, if the video's in the future, you can know when it's going to come out, and so then you can go watch the yarn that you bought get made. And this is something that I personally think is pretty cool. But also, when you buy yarn, you're helping me get materials and things to make more videos. None of it, in each video I use between 1 and 4 or more skeins of yarn, and so yeah, it adds up. But I've been productive. In the last 2 weeks I filled up a whole, I don't know how many gallon container this is with yarn, and all of this that's right here next to me, oh, you can't see my hand, but all of this is now currently in the shop. And we have there's cotton yarn, sock yarn, bulky, super jumbo yarn. There's a wide variety of different fiber types, and I think that there's a fun mix of colors as well. Gradient, speckles. I'm not sure. Yeah, there's some semi-solids, I think, in there too. So there's a little bit of everything, but that's sort of what I love to do. So I think that the update has a lot of really good stuff, and obviously I encourage you to check it out. But one of the things that is noticeable about this update, and I'm going to pull some of these right now, is that this update includes some really stunning hand-dyed cotton yarns. We've got a really pretty speckly gradient. We've got some ones that have like almost a watercolor effect. Here's a dry rub technique on cotton yarn. And this one is a more kettle dyed yarn with some flecks of purple, turquoise. I know that there have been people clamoring for cotton yarns, not just in my shop, but more dyeing videos on cotton in general. And to satisfy this, we have a whole cellulose week that is coming up on the ChemKnits Tutorials YouTube channel. Starting June 16th, I'm going to have a week where I look at different dyes, different methods of applying dye to cotton yarns. And so these are just some of the 4 of the examples that will be featured during that cellulose week. I'm hoping to bring in, well, there'll definitely be at least 1 linen blend. The dye pot PS number 2, I will make that public that week. So that way it's another, like, more cellulose, more plant-based fibers. I know that there's a lot of people with wool allergies out there, and so I think that this will be a little bit for you. But not only are these videos coming out, but at least 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think that there's at least 8 different cotton yarns currently in this shop update. So I think that that's kind of exciting, because I know people have been asking about it, and I've been on a roll. I've edited 9 videos in the last 36 hours, edited and uploaded them to YouTube. So I started the Restock last night, and then all day as the video, I edit it, then I have to export it and upload it to YouTube. And so as soon as it's uploaded to YouTube, then I can put the yarn in the shop. So some things have been trickling in all day, but some of these, I don't think that the colors, you could really appreciate the like watercolorness. What is the pink? The pinks are really, there's like some really flecks of pink in there that are just really, really, really fun. And now I'm just stacking these on top of here for now. But I'm happy to chat more about the yarns themselves in a minute. But first, I wanted to talk a little bit about one of the other new things that's in the shop. It's not just yarn. So for the first time since my Dye Pot Weekly Kickstarter, I am opening up some sponsorship slots for new episodes of Dye Pot Weekly. And I really like filming sponsored videos. If you are a sponsor, you get credit in the video. I'll introduce the video at the beginning and say that it's sponsored by you. You'll get shout outs through the middle and at the end. Plus, you'll get 100 grams of yarn that I dyed in that video. So the technique and everything, the technique in like dyeing experiment and dyes and the final colors will all be a surprise. But you can send me your least favorite colors, sort of a no list of colors you don't enjoy. And you could say, oh, I don't like wild yarns, I prefer more muted tones. You can give sort of a basic parameter, but the reason why I ask for a no list versus a yes list is that part of what makes Dye Pot Weekly special is that I'm trying new techniques, and sometimes we don't know quite what we're going to get. And that really makes it even more fun. But so I'm just really excited. Right now I have 6 slots available, and these sponsored videos will come out in between July and September. And I think that I have the processing time as 4 to 6 weeks. And the reason why the processing time is long is because this is the time for you to get your yarn. So some sponsors, their video might not come out until September, but you get your yarn within 4 to 6 weeks. And the reason why the processing time is long is that sometimes for a certain experiment, I might need to go buy new materials or wait for things to come. And also, I don't want to mail the yarn until I have the video edited and uploaded, because if there's a computer malfunction and I lose a video clip, if it's already uploaded to YouTube, that means the video is backed up already in multiple places, and then everyone can enjoy the episode. And so, and it takes, the dyeing itself, the filming process usually takes at least a week. Because you have to wait for the yarn to dry at the very end, and sometimes there's some more prep at the beginning. But I think that the whole thing is a lot of fun. So once your yarn, once you have, purchased the sponsored listing, and then in the notes to seller, you can send me the colors you don't like and what you want your shout out name to be. I'll start working on your video, and as soon as it's filmed, I'll send you the date that your sponsored video will be published, and I'll mail you your yarn. And I will communicate with you when that's going to happen. And it's really, really fun to be able to tell people the title of their sponsored video. It's something I really enjoy, and it's always, I think people tend to have a lot of fun when they would go and watch their sponsored video and then get to see their yarn get made. And it was fun to see an excitement of, ooh, that's my yarn in the comments on YouTube. So that's something I really personally really enjoyed. And I have a link specifically to the sponsored video listing at the in the video description, but you can also find it on the shop. I have a section, what did I call the section? I think it's sponsored DPW episodes. I don't know if those episodes are videos. There's a section in the shop called, sponsor a DPW episode. DPW is the little abbreviation that I use for Die Pot Weekly on all my files. So that's something I'm really excited about. And so, so those are the first two things. We've got a lot of fun yarn, which I'll like pop my head away in a minute so you can see that. I'm sorry that the lag is a little bad. Hopefully the audio is okay. But maybe if I pause it so I don't watch myself, maybe that'll help. You have knitted a dishcloth with a pattern? Michelle, I don't really understand your question. I'm sorry. But I think that a lot of, I think that a lot of these things are really fun. Oh, yeah, the next thing I wanted to talk about is a little bit about my business model, because I know that there's been a lot of stuff that I've been promoting lately, and there's a lot of different factors. And also some people have reached out to me to ask a little bit about doing something like this, and so I thought I would chat a tiny bit about it. My primary objective is to dye beautiful colors and film videos to make dyeing feel approachable to everybody. When you tell me that you went and you tried something that I did in a video at home, that's the biggest compliment I could ever get. When I see pictures in the ChemKnits Lab Facebook group, when I release a new video and then someone goes and tries it that week, it's really exciting. My goal is to teach, to be innovative, to try things for the first time on film, so that way maybe it seems a little less intimidating. Or in other times, I'm willing to take risks to learn new things, so that way you don't have to waste your limited resources trying it out yourself. So sometimes I'm willing to take the risk, push the yarn, and then see what we can create. But it is kind of weird not being able to see myself. So that's sort of my primary objective, is with the videos. Unfortunately, while I do get ad revenue from these videos, it doesn't quite cover the expenses. And there's a lot, there's the obvious expenses of dyeing yarn, and then there's equipment, and there things that are simple as from drying racks, but then also like the camera and storage space. I need, hard drives to store all the video clips and things like that. And so for other sources of, I guess some other aspects of my business are through Patreon. It's one way that the viewers, that's all of you, can support me and these videos. And I've talked about that a lot in the past, and how I offer some fun perks, early access video, behind the scenes sneak peeks and things. And it's just another, I guess, avenue to help me fund all the things that I do here. Another avenue, and if someone wants to learn a little bit more about affiliate income, reach out to me over personal message, and I can give you a little more details with the companies that I work with. But the way I've gone about this mostly is either there's companies whose products I use all the time anyway, and I went and joined their networks, Or in some cases, a company might reach out to me and say, hey, can you unbox our product? And I'm always happy to be a little guinea pig and open things up. And so, ooh, I have another new sponsor, new box, subscription box that I'm going to get to open up soon. So I'm really excited about that. But so sometimes when I say like, oh, this is my affiliate link, what those links do is it tells the company that the sale referral came from me. But it doesn't, I don't get any information. I get information when a purchase has happened, but I don't know anything about who it was. So I don't necessarily get like any kind of information about you. So when, I guess that's, I know some people aren't really aware what an affiliate link really is. It's just a method for the company to say like, oh, ChemKnits shared this link. Okay, well, we'll give ChemKnits a finder's fee or commission or however it is set up. So that is, I guess, another avenue. But I try to make it very clear when an item has been given to me versus an item that I've purchased. And if there's ever something that I need to clarify on that front, please go ahead and ask. I am happy to share that. But I share a lot of KnitPicks stuff, but I've only been a KnitPicks affiliate from last October, so October 2017. And I started the blog in 2009 and very quickly started using KnitPicks yarns. So, I mean, that was a very natural one for me to incorporate because I use their products all the time. And then I guess the last avenue, which I guess I talked about at the beginning, is the Etsy store. And the reason why I'm bringing this up again is because so my model is a little different from a lot of Etsy sellers. A lot of independent yarn dyers have, they consider, and rightly so, their techniques, their recipes, their yarn bases proprietary. They don't want to necessarily tell you exactly how they created their yarn and encourage you to create it yourself because if you love the yarn, they want you to buy it. And so I think sometimes there's a little bit of I'm teaching you guys how to fish, but then also asking you to buy the fish that I've caught. And so that feels weird to me sometimes. So I'm still trying to figure out how to make this work. But I guess if you aren't interested in becoming a patron or giving the occasional super chat to contribute directly, if you were to say buy the occasional skein of yarn, the prices are generally within the range of what other independent dyers do. It's another way for you to support the videos and this content. So it's a way for you to directly, I guess, contribute. But yeah, I think the having the Etsy store feels different from the Kickstarter. Because when I did the Kickstarter, it was like, buy my yarn to help me launch the video series. And it's still, please buy yarn to help sustain the video series, but it's through Etsy versus Kickstarter, so it has a different feel, if that makes sense. But this is how I'm evolving. And I know my primary objective is to film these dyeing videos. As I said, I spent today editing 9 new videos. I think that if I wanted to run an Etsy store, I would sort of focus my colorways, always maybe have multiple skeins in each colorway. There's things that I would do that I think would make a shop, like a standalone shop, more successful. But I see this shop as sort of an extension of the whole video part. And so that is, yeah, I guess that's sort of what is going on in this ChemKnits realm right now. The yarn is so fun though. I have so much fun Like, I can't even tell you how much fun I have making these videos. Occasionally there's one where I'm not enjoying myself as much. But even today, I was doing something that I knew wasn't going to work intentionally. And it was just fun. It was really, really fun. And I guess that's the last thing I want to say. People are like, oh, I'd love to make YouTube videos, or I'd like to have a knitting blog. Like, how can I go about making this a business? And I think ultimately, have fun. If you enjoy what you do, and you can share your enjoyment with other people, but you're also doing it primarily for yourself, then I think other people might enjoy what you do. And so a big important thing with me was ChemKnits started off as my personal log of projects. And I started filming things so I remember how I did them, or a friend might have asked me, so I filmed it. And I think that it's just other people liked it too. So here I am. But I am now gonna go into comments, and if you guys have any questions, feel free. This is an unofficial Ask Me Anything. I am here to answer. And oh, Marcy, thank you so much for the super chat. I really wish I could do evening streams more often. Tonight, Keith's out of town, and the kids are both still awake, even though they're in bed. Although maybe they're now asleep. So they tend to be a little harder for me to do in general, but I really do try to mix it up because I know that daytime, I have the biggest chunk of time on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Fridays between 8:30 and 3. And so that's usually when I can do epic streams without little people, the chem kids running all around. My foot is doing great. Tomorrow is the official 6 weeks since I broke my toe. If you aren't aware, I broke it right here, and that I couldn't walk for a while, and I went to Bermuda with a boot on my foot. But I've been walking just in Crocs for about 2 weeks, and technically tomorrow I'm allowed to wear any shoe. I'm a little afraid to wear other stuff. I like the Crocs because I feel like it's like a squishy barrier from stubbing my toe. So, okay. And I see, uh-oh. Did it work? Am I back? I was just like OBS reconnecting. Okay, it said it said it's resumed. I'm still here. I'm still here. Okay. Oh goodness, I'm having internet connection issues tonight. Oh good. Thank you, Tyra. But yeah, Michelle, post a photo in the Facebook group. Actually, I will say Facebook. I'm going to drop a link to the Facebook group in the chat. Because in the ChemKnits Lab group, which is something else that was born out of one of these live streams, you guys were chatting about starting a Facebook group. And so we set one up, and it's a group for ChemKnits fans. And people are sharing their own dyeing projects. And it's especially fun when you guys ask a question, and I happen to have just made a video, so I can share a picture of yarn. Oh, Pauline, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And yeah, it's late. Oh, my sister-in-law, I was chatting to her before bed, but she went to bed hours ago. She's in London. Yeah, the quality, I'll say this in chat too. The stream output isn't great for some reason. I'm not sure. Oh, do I have a whole? Oh no, that's the chat window. I could restart. Gotta love technical difficulties. Oh, so you guys can hear me even with the screen freezing up? Okay, at least I'm not dying. yarn dyeing right now. That would be harder. But it looks like, well, I can't tell because I have the chat over my face. It looks like I'm frozen. Trying to hear. Okay. Yeah, so it does look like the screen is frozen. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, do you guys have any other questions? I am more than happy to answer things. And oh, I'm like frozen on a really weird view of myself. Okay, so this is like a podcast with me looking really sleepy-eyed right now. Oh, I'm so sorry for the technical difficulties. I feel like it's hit or miss. But okay, I'm gonna hide my face and hopefully this will come back up. So that way I can show off some of these yarns. And really, I should say yarn because I think yarn itself is plural, but I don't know why I say yarns and if that's grammatically correct or not. But, okay, but I can't even show you anything. I'm tempted to restart the streaming software. Okay. I am back. Oh, I paused my thing. I wasn't up to date. You guys, I feel like a little bit of a silly dilly right now. Okay. So here is my beautiful, beautiful yarn from the Restock. But I had a question come in. Okay, so did I play with RIT dye fixatives? I did. I did play with them. I used them on a navy gradient that was in the Dye Pot PS first episode. And I need to move this chat over. Wait, is it not frozen? Oh no, there's just a delay. Okay, I can see myself moving in it. That's good. And I dip dyed the yarn. Oh no, I didn't do it. Yes, I dip dyed the yarn, and so I played with the RIT fixative a little bit. I need to play with it some more. I did, and I'll say this yarn right here was dyed with the RIT, and I did use the color fixative on it. And the tones were the same after as they were when it started. I think that I need to do another RIT color stay fixative test. I've heard that it makes more of a difference on reds than navy, so I went and I bought some red RIT, and I plan to play with that in the future. All right, I see, and there's a bit of a substantial delay between what you guys see up to date and maybe about a minute or so in what I say. How many years have I been dyeing yarns? Whew, oh goodness, I've been dyeing yarn for probably, okay, so ChemKnits is gonna turn 10 years old this December. I think I started the channel and uploaded the very first videos in 2010. The early videos were some knitting tutorials. I was designing some patterns. I read the Knit One Below book and I wanted to design I had an idea for using it in one of my own patterns, and I decided to film the video because there wasn't really a good video on how to do the technique, and I wanted to be able to demonstrate how to do it. And so the channel started with me filming filming knitting tutorials. And then I actually had a relationship with All Free Knitting for a while where they licensed my videos, and that encouraged me to create more. So I started creating some early dyeing videos because I wanted to create more content so I could get more license fees. Oh, I can put my face back up. I wanted to get the license fees, and so I started filming the stuff I was playing with. And then I was like, ooh, what other ways could I dye yarn? And so I started thinking, and I forget what years that relationship was, but then like eventually they wanted to change the setup where they wanted to not just license the use of the video, they wanted exclusive rights to videos. And that was something that I had no idea how much to charge for. So I ended up not working with them with the videos anymore. But this is why in some of the older videos you can see all free knitting in them. And I mentioned them in the videos. But yeah, and then people ask questions, and so then I try new things. And last fall, I was getting a lot more, like the community and the world has evolved. I decided that I wanted to go all in on the videos. And so then last fall, leading up to the Kickstarter, as I was prepping it, I started filming more. And my goal was to do one video a week. And I had like this plan, and I was like, I think this is sustainable. I think I can manage this. But then I was creating so much, and then I was putting out 2 videos a week. And I realized, I think I want to do 2 a week. And and that's been sustainable so far. And Dipot Weekly has been going for 6 months. So it's just a lot of fun. I've been having so much fun with all of this. And my list of ideas is not getting shorter. It's just getting longer. I think that transitioning from thinking about this from, people don't want to see something that's similar to what I've done before, but with different colors or a tweak. I needed to do things substantially different, to realizing, it's more of, entertainment. I really enjoy just looking at something from one angle and then a different angle, and just seeing how many different ways we can create beautiful, beautiful color. For example, I'm in love with this one. This is some Knit Picks Hawthorne that I did with the dry rub technique with tie-dye. But instead of letting it sit overnight, I steamed it for half an hour and then washed it. And that worked great and was faster and was a lot of fun. Now, I think it would work pretty much just as well to leave it for 24 hours. But, and I wish that the colors did justice, but, I have to write. Okay, so on all my labels, I always have, the care instructions and fiber content, and then I have the video title. But these 2 yarns, which are both dry rub yarns, were the last ones that I added to the shop. The last video that I uploaded just like a couple hours ago. And so I have it written on the video title and the date that they're coming out. And I think these ones might not be coming out for a while. What does my family think of my YouTube career? Lucas thinks it's funny. I don't think he really understands what YouTube is yet. He's only 4, but he just thinks he's like, Mommy, let's do a ChemKnits video. I swear, he's gonna have his own channel by the time he's 10, and I'll be hard pressed to say no. I predict that he's gonna have his own Minecraft channel or something then. And Keith, and my husband Keith, is really, really supportive as well. I'm working on getting him to do a dyeing video. I think that would be really, really fun. But there's things that are. It's hard because I'm primarily a stay-at-home mom, and so. But then also doing the YouTube stuff that's working from home. Thankfully, both boys are now in preschool, so I have some chunks of time now that I can actually dedicate to this regular schedule, and I try to make sure to have enough filmed ahead that, it's a bummer when I make 8 videos that I'm so excited about and I really want to share them right away. But I know I need to stagger them out, because that way when someone breaks a foot, then there's some buffer for real life circumstances, so I can keep sharing things with you. So for this dry rub cotton, This one I used tie-dye. This one was teal and black, and the colors are a teal and sort of a deep forest green is how the black comes down sometimes. And this one I did not steam. There was a day where I did a lot of tie-dye projects. Where are some of the other? Okay, some of the others are like this. This one was done with tie-dye. This is sock yarn, and I kettle dyed it. Kettle dyed. That was really fun. I like getting these spoilers. But if you go and you look through the new listings, you can see all the video titles of things coming up. So then that's sort of it's not a complete spoiler because I've already spoiled it by putting the yarn in the shop. But you can see, like, this yarn takes up a lot of space. I needed to put it somewhere. Yeah, but the dry rub and knit steam, because I think I'd already set it aside. I shared on Instagram, I did an experiment where I was looking at heat versus time versus vinegar versus fiber content, and learned that basically steaming for about 30 minutes is sort of equivalent to waiting 24 hours with the tie-dye. And so I now personally decide to steam the yarns and find that it works great. But have I steamed? Oh, here's a cotton that I steamed. It wasn't dry rub. This one was done a bit differently. For this one, okay, you'll have to go and find the listing to see how I dyed this one. But yeah, this one I did steam. So you can steam cotton as well, and that works great. But this one, I mean, I can't show another view of the colors. This one is one that I almost kept. I have a personal stash of stuff, and sometimes when I do a new shop update things, I like trade things from things I've kept for myself, and then they'll end up in the shop. But what are some other big? Oh, this is a huge new favorite. Okay, so this is a really, really subtle one. This is a silk blend, and it has layers of gray and lavender. And so it's almost, that's actually not bad color-wise. It's almost a tonal, except it's got two different shades. So I think if you were going to take a black and white picture of this, it would almost all look one color, but then there's just gray and purple in here. Do I add salt with steam? No. I use my dedicated dye pot, and you could add salt in to get a little more steamy, but I haven't really needed to so far. Yeah, I love cool colors as well, as you can tell. I do have some warm ones. This is one of the gradient yarns that I did with Easter egg dye tablets during the celebration live stream. And so this one has like a white base with red, pink, yellow, and orange speckles and a nice gradient. I have actually plans to do a lot more sunset stuff. It's just sometimes there'll be like a whole batch of yarn that is in a very similar colorway because I'll mix tie-dye and then want to use it all up. And so then, I'm like, okay, I've got these 5 colors. How many things can I dye with these 5 colors? I feel like, oh, okay, this one isn't in the shop. I was like, what else did I do with the tie-dye? I have another blank that I did. But this video is still in progress, and I do want to unravel it because I want to see the stitch definition, but I tie-dyed the blank. You were wondering, when I use acid dyes, do I keep Indy out of the room? So I kept Indy out of the room when I was mixing my stock solutions. With my acid dyes, in January, I mixed some 1 liter, 1% stock solutions of, I think, maybe 8 colors or so. Black, gray, red, yellow, blue, purple, pink. 7? I feel like there might be one more that I'm missing. But so I did, and I've still been using those stock solutions. So I think the concerns with the acid dye is the inhalation of the powders. And so that's why you should wear a dust mask or something, because inhaling any kind of particle isn't good for you. I think technically with the tie-dye powder, you might want to do that as well. The powder is really, really fine. I didn't feel like I got any in my nose. Like when I blew my nose, it wasn't colorful or anything like that. But I realized as I was playing with the powder recently that, oh, maybe I should be wearing a mask for this just to be safe. So I think in general, sometimes when I'm filming, I have Indy out of the room anyway, because he likes to get up close to the tripod. That's a little dangerous. But yeah, I think a lot of the jacquard dyes, not all of them, but some of them do say that they're safe for children to use once they're in solution. So the concern with them is really a lot more about the powder and inhaling the powder. So I think that with cats, if they jump up on the counter and stuff, then maybe you want them in another room while you're mixing the dyes, just so that way they don't knock it and then get a like cloud of powder. But I don't have cats, so because I'm allergic. Otherwise, I would love to have a cat, but they would probably love, love, love my yarn. What else do I have here? Oh, so I decided I'm just in love with Hawthorne, I think. Hawthorne might become something I start ordering a 20-pack of. The colors aren't quite coming through, but so this is one that I did, another one with Easter egg dye tablets, and I kettle dyed with it, and the way they dissolved, we got like speckles on it. This is another one that was kind of hard for me to part with. The colors, the way I had it set up, struck fast, but the colors struck fast, and it takes color so well. That must be why. It's funny, I don't pay as much attention to all the new colors that Knit Picks comes out with, but they have multiple Hawthorne lines, and this is the one that they're doing with their new sock lab. And I think that it ties so nicely. I absolutely love it and recommend it. And I was watching the review of it. It's not quite as soft as Stroll, but what they've said is that it blooms when you wash it, so it gets softer. And even these ones that I just hand washed, they are definitely, like, I think I would be comfortable having this as a scarf or as socks, no question. But I love the definition that, like, with the Stroll, they're so smooth that I can't see the plies from back here, and I'm 2 feet from the yarn. With the Hawthorne, I can, and I just feel like it's a great stitch definition, and it just shows off yarn really nicely. So you love the orange one. Is that when you dyed in Fanta? No, the Fanta yarn went off to a Kickstarter backer as a reward last fall. Have I tried any other sodas? I've done Hawaiian Punch. I've done Gatorade. I've done a lot of powdered sodas. I did try Coke Zero, which doesn't work. But that was a viewer request. Hello! I tried Mio. That was a fun one. I think I have some Crystal Light and some powdered Hawaiian Punch that I need to use at some point. In general, dyeing with soda is pretty fun, but it is a more expensive way to do it. There's not that much food coloring in a bottle of Gatorade compared to a packet of Kool-Aid, even, because one packet of Kool-Aid makes a lot of servings. The 1 2-liter bottle of Hawaiian Punch gave like a really nice pink, like a really nice pink. But yeah, dyeing with soda is it's a lot of fun. But I think it's more I tend to advocate more of the, if you happen to have it and you want to use it up, then it's a fun thing to do with yarn. But if you're going to go out and you want to buy a soda type product to dye yarn, I would go for Kool-Aid or some other kind of powdered drink mix, just because I think that there's more, you can get the dye much more concentrated easily. So the Mio was fun. The problem with the Mio was that it smelled a lot. And not that the smells were bad, it was just intense. Because I think that there was equivalent of like, when I used all the like 100 servings of beverage on the counter. So it was just like a lot. It was a sensory overload. So even though it was really fun, the only reason why I might do Mio again is to get the little containers, but I have some other squeeze type apparatuses around that I'll use that I think would work for a similar effect. Have I considered delving into natural dyes? Absolutely. I've got this book, which I was told if there's one book to get, this is the one to get on natural dyeing. I actually have from so Stony Creek Colors sent me some of their American grown indigo, and they sent me like a little kit to play with. I'm waiting for the weather to be good, and I need a couple days. So school's about to end, but then the preschool turns into camp. So then they'll be starting that soon. But let's see. I have some soda ash. I've got some black walnut, some madder extract, and they're indigo. So made me a nice little kit. So in August, I'm hoping to have a week of indigo dyeing videos, because I'm going to be setting up a vat soon, and one vat can dye a lot of fiber. So I'm planning to come up with a lot of projects, and then I'll film a lot of like mini episodes as I dye things with indigo. So 100%. I've done without mordants. I've done avocado. I've done coffee and tea, and I did like as a consumer, I did a like scarf dyeing class where we used, I don't even remember, I might have on the blog somewhere, some kind of plant. That was really, really fun. But yeah, the avocado pits and skins were really fun. I actually have a thing of red cabbage in my fridge, but the problem with the red cabbage, and I bought it on a whim, and then I was like, oh, I want to use mordants with it. So hopefully the red cabbage will keep before I set up my mordant bath for the indigo stuff, and I can do the red cabbage at the same time. The problem with the red cabbage is that the colors, I think, aren't very color fast. You'll get cool colors, eventually they fade. Whereas some things like indigo, the colors will last a really long time. So yeah, that's part of it. Actually, in the ChemKnitsCreations shop, I do have my avocado dyed yarns in there. There's 3 mini skeins, 3 33-gram mini skeins of wool, and 3, I forget if they're about 22-gram mini skeins of cotton, from that dyeing experiment. What else do I have in here? I feel like that there was something else I did with hawthorn that made me excited. Maybe it was just those 2. Oh, it was the recent one where I was doing the glazing in the live stream. So this was the leftover black, and the color, it's hard to know if it's gray or if it's brown. It's like a brown color. It's definitely, if it's a gray, it's a really warm gray, but it's a beautiful tonal. And again, just the stitch, the like definition of the strands in the hawthorn is just really, really beautiful. Yeah, I just like, so I dyed with a food coloring that had beet powder in it, and like the colors, like I washed it and the color stayed. in the yarn. But then, yeah, I was reading, and with the natural dyes, I'm like, I don't know how long the colors will last. Um, yeah, the hawthorn, I think it might look. Oh, it looks like it has. I don't think it has too much of a sheen. I think it's just the way the lights are hitting it. I have a lot of lights on right now. If you want a yarn with a sheen, here's a yarn with a sheen. I call this my mermaid yarn. This is the Galileo base. So it's 50% wool, 50% viscose from bamboo. And it almost feels iridescent because as you turn it, the light hits the viscose. And also, the viscose doesn't really take this one was done with, this was done with Easter egg dye tablets, I think. The viscose doesn't really take up acid dyes. So you get something a little heathered, but it does take a tiny bit of a stain. So it's not a stark heathering, but this has a very, very nice sheen, very much like silk. And so it's one that is really, really fun. Maybe it's a little bit like, well, I'll have to compare it when I do the walnut bath at some point. I need to, with this book that I have, I haven't opened it yet. I need to have some time to start reading, but I am excited. I'm really excited that that the company reached out to me. It was really, really nice. I just want to make sure I put that away. The Stony Creek Stony Creek Colors, to reach out to me and offer me some of their dyes because I could then ask some questions and I could ask about disposal and other things to start research. But so this book, it's kind of from what I'd heard, it's a no frills book in that it doesn't have color photos and things like that. But I think it has, sky blue recipe on cotton or silk and logwood navy blue on wool. There are some color photos in here. But it goes through, there's recipes, there's protocols. I'm seeing black oak bark, heat to 170 to 190 degrees Fahrenheit. Tannin. So I have a lot of rhubarb. And I know you can use rhubarb leaves as the tannin in it as a mordant. And so that's something I'm interested in playing with. Apparently also lilac twigs can have a cool color. I have huge lilac bushes, 12, 15 feet tall, and they send up all these shoots that I'm always having to prune back because otherwise the bushes will get bigger and bigger and bigger. And so I'm like, well, if that has some color in it, that would be fun to play with. So there's just a lot of things that, supposedly like rhubarb roots give cool color, but I don't want to dig them up. The same thing with irises. I don't want to dig up my tubers. So, but I would love to go and play in the garden someday and see, what kind of colors I can create. What else was in here that was new and fun? Here's another, this is similar to one of the cottons I showed before, but it's got I tried to speckle cotton yarn. It didn't really work, but the yarns are gorgeous. They sort of remind me of an impressionistic painting with the way that the colors sort of transition from one to another. It's definitely not a solid, it's just so fun, so fun. This one's only 50 grams, which makes me sad. I'm not sure why I bought 50-gram balls of the organic cotton from Knit Picks instead of the 100-gram ones. Maybe I wanted a thinner yarn, but I still have a lot of the 50-gram skeins, but I'm going to, I think, swap to 100 because ultimately what I've realized is that from a cost perspective, 50 grams materials-wise might be cheaper, but the labor to dye it and the time to dye it is not necessarily like it's not half of that, but I can't in my head just like, yeah, it's just hard. Pricing the 50 gram skeins is hard. But yeah, I think that, do we have anything else? Ooh. Okay, you want some more spoilers? These aren't in the shop yet, because I still have to edit the video. But I tried the Little Bean, her technique for speckling with Kool-Aid, and I got these really cool yarns. But as I was doing it, the problem is the Kool-Aid strikes so fast that it only hits not even one whole layer of yarn. So you don't even get color penetration through a strand, which gives you these really, really cool teeny speckles, but then that makes it hard to get good coverage. So I dyed 3, and 2 of them are pretty well balanced, but one of them is actually kind of a gradient. There's like less speckling on one half and more on the other. So when I do eventually list them, I'll list them separately as balanced and asymmetric. But I thought that that's pretty cool. Yeah, exactly. I may as well yield enough for a bigger project. So it's just, there's a lot of learning that goes into all this. But yeah, okay, so here's my, we're going a little behind the scenes. Here's my bag of yarn that is in various stages of filming and editing. And so I have it here, and I have like my stack of labels, and I have yarn labels, and this is stuff that I either need to do another step for to film, or I'm waiting to edit so that way I can upload. And then I have like another container where once the video's done, that's where the yarn goes until I'm ready to do shop update. But I've only had the shop for a month and a half so far. But I'm sorry the video quality is not great tonight. Yeah, I have 2, I guess, technically 2 lilac bushes that are, the previous owners of my home did not do any work. And so we have overgrown lilac, azalea, forsythia, like all kinds of bushes are overgrown. And in some cases it's nice, it gives us good privacy, but you know, they're just, it's hard. And like, I've got these huge bushes that I'm like, really, I need to cut them back. And I know if I were to cut them to the ground, they'd come back, but that would take years. And they're so, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't do that with the lilacs. The lilacs are fine. I just like have to take print. You know, there was this area that I was like, what is that overgrown mass? And then I sort of made it more concrete, like bushes. But yeah, I think that, well, I'm glad that I film these, because I'm not always good at taking notes while I'm filming new videos. But then when I'm filming my Dye Pot Weekly episodes or any of my dyeing videos, I always take notes as I'm editing. And so if you ever, and I do this in part, I don't go through and close caption everything, but I do know that I have some deaf listeners, or not listeners, deaf watchers. And so I try to include the details in the video description, so that way someone can try to recreate it. And I also always, with this video contents in the video description, I have tagged to the point of the video where a certain section starts. So if you just want to watch the introduction and you want to watch the conclusions and skip the dyeing, you can skip straight to the conclusions without having to like scroll through. So I always mark the start of the dyeing, the washing, and the conclusions. And sometimes I will, you know, mark other notable spots in the middle of the video. This is also something that helps me, because when I get a question, then I can not just link to a video, but I can link to the spot in the video that will have the information that people need. And plus it's a quick way that I don't always remember how I dyed every single skein of yarn. I mean, I remember the overview, but I don't remember how much dye did I pour in. And oh, Isn't she pretty? And so they're not listed as a set, but these two are like, would be really, really cool. I mean, they're both non-repeating colorways, and so I'm not sure if they, like how a gradient would necessarily work, because there's probably some kind of asymmetry to each of these in general, but I love the, what color did, I forget. I started looking at, I'm not really good with color names, so I started looking at some pictures of like, here are all these red colors to like pick things out. But these I did with some leftover dye from the cotton gradient that I did. And I think that they're just, oh, I'm going to open this one up. I just think that these colors are amazing. This deep red, which is not doing justice on camera, is just awesome. Awesome. I like a good pink. But, oh, and as I said, all my yarns, I always label them in my handwriting. That's not great. Sometimes I get printed labels of episodes, but sometimes I'm not that organized. But I always will put the title of and the date of the video on the tag, so that way if you give the yarn away or something, then, you know, maybe you can find the video. So I feel like that there was something else that, oh. So this was one that was real. I need to do a standalone video with this technique. This was one in the celebration live stream where I twisted it. I dyed, there we go, the twisted hank of the twisted skating yarn 3 different times. So I twisted it, dyed it, twisted again, dyed it, twisted a third time, and dyed it one more time. And so this just gives it many, many layers of color, and is just really, really fun. So what I've heard about berries is that you can get really cool color, but they will fade over time. So I think that that is an issue, but here's another one that I'll open up. So there's just many, many layers to the color as you go through, and it just, I find it like yarns like this absolutely delightful. And this is another one that I just want to turn into like a shawl or something. I love, not that some things this varied are necessarily the best for lace work, but I love lace work. So, hi Sally. Well, I'm glad you were able to tune in. Yeah, tonight I've talked a little bit about my shop, and now I'm doing a very informal Ask Me Anything, talking about some of these new yarns that I just put in the shop. And there's now sponsorship options available that I think, I don't know, I'm pretty excited because I've had, when the sponsored episodes of Dye Pot Weekly started coming out, and I don't know if those were between like 8 and 21 or 22, I think is around when those came out. I had a lot of people saying, oh, how can I sponsor an episode? And I didn't really have a good way at the time to set that up. But now in the Etsy shop, I am offering slots for July through September. And depending on interest and filming schedule, then maybe I'd open more up. We'll see. But I think that, yeah, that's something that, oh, and actually, where is my, oh, here we go. Here is the link to the sponsored videos. So there's details in there, but it works a lot like it did in the Dye Pot Weekly Kickstarter campaign. And even right now, the price point, I guess, except for shipping, but the price point is the same. But there is a second listing. If someone wants to sponsor an episode and double the yarn, you can get the second yarn at a discount for what I usually, like if I usually charge $28 for for a yarn like this, then I think for you to add a second skein to your sponsored video for like 23 or something. I worked it all out. It made sense at the time. But if you are, oh, I have to go, and as soon as I stop the stream, I have to make sure I added some more listings today, and I started the restock last night, and I added some more today. And the things I added last night, I already added to the Patreon coupon, because the way Etsy works is with a coupon, you have to add items that are eligible for the coupon, but I haven't added the new things from today. So I need to go and do that when I stop the stream. But I was going to say that if you have a Patreon coupon, those work on the Dye Pot Weekly sponsorship. So just putting that out there that works. And if you aren't currently a patron, if you sign up today with the ChemKnits Patreon, you'll get immediate access to early access videos, and depending on the level you select, the behind the scenes sneak peeks and things like that. But if you sign up today to be eligible for, if you were to become a patron today, you would be eligible for coupons and shout outs in July. And that's because if you sign up now, they won't charge your credit card the first time until July 1st. And so I don't want, I guess, someone to sign up, get the shout out, and then cancel. Because that's why I have, for those 2 perks, you have to have been signed up from the 1st of the month. But yeah, I will make sure. I just wrote a note so I can fix the coupon right away. But okay, cool. Just checking. In general, there's now a lot of ways for you to reach out to me. I think some good ways. I'm not on Ravelry as much anymore, but if you private message me on Ravelry, I do get that to my email, and so I can reply to those pretty easily. Messaging me as ChemKnits through Facebook, please message ChemKnits, not my personal page, because I might not notice and respond from my personal account, but I do try to respond to every message from the ChemKnits, people messaging ChemKnits on Facebook. Instagram messages are a little harder. I'm not as familiar with the app, but you can message me through Instagram. And if you're going to message me through Etsy, and I guess if you have a question that's about a product in the shop, then absolutely message me through Etsy. But if you have a general, like, how do I dye yarn like this question, I would message me through one of the other options of reaching out to me. Because I don't really, like, I don't know that I can't, but I won't link to other products through the Etsy shop. Like, I'm not going to link to something on KnitPicks or something, because I don't think it would be appropriate for me to do an affiliate link or something through Etsy. Like, I don't have any links or mention any other trademarked names of anything in my listings on Etsy. I'm very careful to try to avoid that, except for when something is in a video title, and then I can't really avoid it. But otherwise, like, if you have a question about a dyeing technique, the best way to ask those are comments on YouTube, reach out to me through Facebook, or the ChemKnits Lab on Facebook, or Ravelry or something. Those are all really great ways to contact me. Right now, I'm like, there's so many. I'm working on figuring out the best way to manage, like, all the different social media ways that I am reachable. And yeah, it's funny because I can also, like, I'm happy to send, like, an email through private message and stuff. But yeah, I think that this has been a really great journey, and I am enjoying where we're headed. I feel like I started last year with a lot of goals, and I had the goal of the Kickstarter, and that's gone great. And then I had a goal of opening up a shop, and that happened out of necessity because I started to get too much hand-dyed yarn again, and I needed some place to put it. And the place where I'm putting it is in the mail off to all of you. And yeah, I'm just really happy. And so at this stage, I know, and I have ideas for other special weeks and stuff, but at this stage, I think I don't necessarily have anything new and different in the pipeline. Like, you know, I was working on the shop, and that was like the new, like, I don't think I have any big announcements coming up except for maybe like the Indigo Week or Sock Blank Special 3 or something. So I've got like fun themed content, but yeah, things will be tweaked here and there, but it's just fun. I am having so much fun playing with color. I oh my and okay, so Knitpicks gets me every time because every time they have a sale, I'm like, ooh, I should buy yarn now because I'm gonna need to buy it at some point, so I should buy it now. And it just means that I now have like a lot of bare yarn, which is great. This is a great problem. Oh, oh, I yeah, I heard my phone and I was like, oh, Marcy sent me something. Yeah, the only problem is on YouTube you can't share pictures with me, and so that's why I'm glad we have the Facebook group and stuff. Um, but having plenty of bare yarn is a great problem to have. I do have, and I'm hoping in time for Cellulose Week to play with, I've got some Dillon dyes and I've got some Jacquard eye dye. And so I would like to play with those in time, maybe just one. Because the problem is that there's a packet, and each packet is good for so much fiber, and because it's a powder, you know, I need to have enough fiber to dye with it. So there's that. So that's why I might not be able to do both, because I might, you know, make a vat of the blue. I forget which one's the blue. Maybe the blue's a Dillon. And then therefore there's gonna be a lot of blue coming out. But I plan to play around with them with cotton, and in some of the Cellulose Week videos, there are a couple where I also did a technique on, like, I did 2 kinds of cotton and I did one skein of wool, just as a comparison. And yeah, so it's just, I'm having fun. I'm having so much fun. Thank you all for your support. Thank you for the super chats tonight. All of these, you know, there's so many ways that you can support ChemKnits. You know, there's financial ways, and I've talked about a lot of those this evening. But other things that you can do is joining a live stream and commenting, commenting on a video, giving a video a thumbs up, maybe sharing a link from a video with your friends. These are ways also that, you know, might take some time or effort on your part, but these actually do help me and help my reach, because, you know, if you share a link to a video, then some more people see it. Or, you know, if you mention this in another Facebook group that you're in or something, then that's another way. And so as, you know, the more people that watch, then, yeah, then it helps. And now I'm getting emotional. I wouldn't be able to do what I love and have so much fun with this if it weren't for you guys watching my videos. Like, if no one watched, then I wouldn't be, you know, dyeing all this yarn in the last couple weeks. You know, this is a lot of videos that are coming out. As I said, I didn't, you know, a lot of this was, I think, like 12 or 13 were from the celebration live stream, but a lot, I edited 9 videos in the last 2 days, and which feels great. I still have a couple more to edit, and then I can go on another big dyeing binge, because, you know, it's when I have a lot in the editing queue, I'm like, okay, I enjoy editing as well, but I just, you know, I start to run out of space on my cameras and stuff. So Yeah. But yeah, I'm having fun. Yeah, go back, go back and watch the beginning. And oh, and with the Etsy shop. So a lot of times, like I mentioned, I always have in the listing the title of the episode, but some of the videos are in the future, and I haven't photographed all of the, like I have all the yarns photographed as, the twisted hank. I did not photograph all of them opened up, where you could see, the color placement, and that's sort of something that you can get in a physical shop that you can't necessarily get on Etsy easily. So if there's a yarn that you're really interested in and you would like me to take some pictures of it opened up, I'm more than happy to do that. Especially if it's one, if it's one that's already in a video, then I'll probably send you the link to the video. But I'm happy to take more pictures and send them. Oh, yay! Yeah, so that's why when people share like what I do, then I'm so glad that you found me and that you watch, because you comment a lot, and it's really fun when I start to get to recognize your names, and it just makes it fun. It's like I don't feel like, I'm sitting here in a room literally talking to myself, but I don't, I am actually talking to you guys. So I feel like I kind of know some of you now. And so that's just a lot of fun. And thank you. Thank you. But yeah, I guess I gotta get this upstairs. I can't believe, so the shop is now, I guess, 3 and a bit bins like this. I had it down to almost 2, and then, whoops, I found another one. I just went to Costco and got more of these bins. I wish they were drawers. That would be easier. But yeah, I think I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna go check the messages and look at the pictures. But again, I will drop in. Here's the link to the Die Cut Weekly sponsorship on Etsy. It's also my, you could, if you'd like to sponsor an episode and have me dye yarn with you in mind and chat about thank you in the video, I think that it's something that's fun. And yeah, I think that, and all this wonderful yarn is in the shop, and I really want to go, I'm itching to do, I've got some orange, and I just want to go. Tomorrow's Thursday, so the kids are home, but I'm making my plans for what I'm gonna play with on Friday, which you guys will see soon. Oh, yay! Thank you. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for watching, for hanging out. I hope that you enjoy the new yarns, and even if you don't feel like shopping, I encourage you to go check out the shop update, ChemKnitsCreations on Etsy, just because you can go through and check out the video titles. I think that there's some stuff that might be surprising, and there's some really, really fun new techniques coming up. And I cannot wait to share these videos with you. But in a couple weeks, Cellulose Week will be a ton of fun. Ton of fun. Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. And I will chat with you all soon. Yeah, I can't help it. Good night, everybody.